This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
The Fish is a poem authored by Elizabeth Bishop. The author uses language to attract the attention of the readers. She also expresses her feelings through imagery in her literary piece of work by employing similes, descriptive language, and adjectives. These literary devices culminate into a precise mental image of the occurrences in the setting. This poem figuratively describes several events that culminate into the main message that the author communicates to the reader. The speaker describes an encounter on a fishing expedition using a rented boat. Several events culminate into the events that are finally revealed in the poem. The speaker in the poem managed to trap a large fish. The fish is old since algae and barnacles are growing on its outer surface. The fish is strong enough to fight for its life. The speaker analyzes the fish and wonders how much energy the fish has used to resist being caught. The fish's size and age make the narrator respect the creature. The narrator compares herself with the fish due to the struggle that each one of them has to face in the deep waters. She acknowledges that she has been fishing for many years, and the boat is symbolic of the fish. She becomes emotional and eventually lets the fish go. If she had not taken her time to study the fish, she could have never imagined how much struggle the fish had undergone in order to avoid being trapped by fishermen for several years. She ended up appreciating the struggle for survival undertaken by the old fish. She equates herself to the fish because they have been striving to survive against all odds. Her boat was old and spilling oil, although it was still running. This is the moment that changed her thoughts. When she stared into the eyes of the fish, it immediately created an emotional trigger that culminated in the moment of revelation. The narrator experiences 3 revelations as a result of her detailed analysis of the fish, the boat, and herself. The first revelation was based on how she described the outlook of the fish. The latter was old, as apparent from the outside look. However, it appeared to be relatively strong. The body was covered by layers of algae and had lines of bruises presumably sustained after escaping from fishermen's traps. This created an image of the fish as a vital part of her life, symbolizing her struggle to live. The fish was made to appear as an important image in the fishmonger's life. As a result, the fishmonger created a mental picture that related the fish to real-life circumstances. The author has largely managed to personify the fish. She uses possessive nouns such as his that attempt to create a human picture of the fish and how the daily struggle to be alive is the dominant feature. She handles the fish, looks straight into its eyes, and admires the appearance of its face and its jaws. This makes the narrator in the poem emotionally attracted to the fish. The emotional attachment between the fish and the narrator intensifies as she compares the fish's struggles to hers. The struggle that the fish endures makes the narrator perceive it as a hero. In addition, the fishmonger examines the jaw and observes that it has long hair. The author relates this eternal feature of the fish with wisdom. This makes the narrator appreciate the fish as a wise creature, especially if it managed to survive in the waters for many years. All these observations tend to strengthen the attributes of the fish as far as the fishmonger is concerned. Another outstanding instance that guaranteed the freedom of the fish after being caught is the condition of the boat. The boat is definitely old. The author compares the age of the boat and the fish and finds that they are both dilapidated. Nonetheless, the boat and the fish are vital in the survival cycle despite their ages. As much as the boat is old and full of imperfections, its functions are overwhelming, according to the narrator. The leaking oil that formed a rainbow on the surface of the water compelled the narrator to set the fish free since there was no time to deal with it while the boat was leaking. This narration describes several processes that culminated in the acquittal of the fish even after being trapped. The fish is displayed as a vulnerable captive, creating a sorrowful situation. The personal relationship between the fish and the fishmonger also enhances the feelings that crop up and culminate in the freedom of the fish. The narrator admires the fish. As a result, it strengthens the relationship between the two parties. The hook jaw also reveals that the fish has escaped being caught several times. This compels the narrator to equate the fish to a hero. She ends up respecting the aquatic creature. If you want to find more works like this essay on The Fish, a poem by Elizabeth Bishop, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of free samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects. No registration required to access it.